What it is, what they do, this is Orion, aka Brass Balls, bringing you another installment of Deep Dive Tape Stash. Before we get into it, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Orion Hip Hop, where you can peep previous episodes of Deep Dive Tape Stash and all things hip hop related that I'm passionate about. You might be peeping this on Instagram, and I truly appreciate if you are and commenting, liking, all of that. I really do. But hop on over to the Orion Hip Hop YouTube channel. There might be videos that are no longer on my Instagram channel that you haven't peeped before, and so I would appreciate the support on the YouTube Orion Hip Hop. So without further ado, get your speedos on, because we are about to take a deep dive into DJ Magic Mike and MC Madness, the dynamic duo. This is a tape single, but it did not come in the O-card template, you know, the cardboard template that I usually review these albums. It actually came in J-card form in a plastic casing. I copped it recently off eBay because I love this track. This track means a lot to me. Growing up, the first time I heard it, I was possibly in 5th, 4th grade in my brother's Toyota Corolla. Had a dope sound system, and he had this CD from DJ Magic Mike, and MC Madness was heavily featured on it, and it was Cheetah's bassiest hits. I inherited that CD from him, and to this day I still have it. Dynamic Duo to me was the standout track on that CD. It's the track that me and him would bump relentlessly. I can't tell you how many times we cruised through it. Everything about this song knocks, from the lyrics to the delivery of the MC, to the beats, to the scratching, even the bridge. There's this bridge where DJ Magic Mike lays with the bass, boom, 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 boom. Man, that shit knocks so heavy. It's so lovely. And even in high school, I was bumping this shit and letting that shit rock in my system, because I had a 12-inch bazooka with an amplifier. That's some real Miami shit. Yeah, you know, if you ain't from Miami, you might not get that. But Magic Mike, more importantly, let's talk about him and him as a DJ. This cat was hailing from Orlando, but then came through to Miami to cut his teeth and really get in the industry and really elevate himself in the music world. And he definitely accomplished that goal. He went on to sell mad records, over 1 million records sold, 5 gold records, something that they were talking about even back in 1995. And this was a brother doing it independently. Madness is an MC that he collaborated with, and Madness, unlike DJ Magic Mike, was not from Orlando. He was actually from Carroll City, so homegrown Miami-Dade talent right there. I didn't actually even know that until I was chopping it up with my dog Nelson, aka DJ Chaos, aka Breed Soul Music. We was chopping it one day, and he told me how he actually knew MC Madness, and he's the one that shed light on it, that he was actually a Miami native. That's something that I didn't know. I wasn't too sure if he was from Miami or if he was from Orlando or what, because I did know from interviews that I had read in magazines that Magic Mike was from Orlando initially. Now, speaking about interviews, you can check out a bunch of interviews with DJ Magic Mike that are available on YouTube, and I'm going to put links to that in my description box on the YouTube. And that's another reason you want to go check out these episodes on my YouTube channel, because in the description box, I'm able to put links to other videos that I might reference in this one, or just videos that I think you might want to touch on if you're new to this, you feel me, or you're just curious about some of the stuff I'm touching on. So one of the interviews that I peeped was Redbull Music Academy did an interview with DJ Magic Mike, and he mentioned early on in the video that his cousin is DJ Scratch. That's right, legendary DJ Scratch of EPMD. I think that's so crazy that DJ Scratch and DJ Magic Mike are cousins. He went on to say Scratch started DJing at age 10, and he later on started DJing at age 11 or 12. That shit is crazy to me, especially with the accomplishments that both of them brothers have had in hip-hop. The album that Dynamic Duo was featured on is Ain't No Doubt About It. If you are truly a hip-hop head and you have not heard this album, you need to do yourself a favor. Go back and hear this album in its totality. because it is a hip-hop album. It is not just a bass music album. It's not booty music. This is a real hip-hop album. Yes, it's got its bass music. For all the listeners out there, all my audiophiles out there, when you're going back to listen to a project that came out in 91 or 92 or 89, you got to kind of put yourself in the context of that time to really truly appreciate what it is. And you're going to be surprised with that album and how much it knocks, how slept on it is. It really should get more praise, I feel, than it does. One of the things that I want to touch on is how dope MC Madness is. For him to be rapping at the cadence he is in these songs, these songs are high BPMs. They're not like trap beats. So trap beats are at high BPMs. The way you flow on a trap beat is way different than you would have flowed on a bass track. So it's mad dope that Madness really captured it, and his flow delivery is so on point. And one of the songs from Ain't No Doubt About It that's not on this single that they had a video for was Classes in Session. Classes in Session is real dope, and I remember hearing it off the Cheetah's Bassiest Hits, like I mentioned earlier, that CD my brother had, and I dug that song, I along with some other tracks on it that Madness was on. But he's definitely on some conscious vibes there, and I never knew it had a video till maybe like, I don't know, I want to say like 10 years ago on YouTube. I ran across the video for Classes in Session, and one of the biggest clues to let you know that Madness is a Miami cat is that there's some Yahweh Ben Yahweh footage on there. If you don't know about Yahweh Ben Yahweh, this is a cat that was by his followers deemed a prophet and had his own church, a lot of people would consider a cult, in Miami, in the Liberty City area. Got raided by the FBI and all that. He got locked up. I mean, there's so much you could go into there. The wormhole that I just led you into is crazy, but trust me, if you view the video for Classes in Session, and once again, I'm going to put a link to that video in the description box, you'll see some footage of Yahweh Ben Yahweh and some of that stuff that kind of relates to what Madness is saying in his verse. And I don't think if you weren't from Miami, you wouldn't necessarily be up on the Yahweh Ben Yahweh stuff. And I wonder to myself what Magic Mike's thoughts were on that, and was he involved with them to any degree or whatnot, you know? And I peeped a lot of the interviews with Magic Mike, and unfortunately there's never anybody asking about MC Madness or even the Yahweh Ben Yahweh thing that I just did. So y'all know I had my WDDH radio podcast. If I had to bring it back and interview any down south, Florida legends, is definitely Magic Mike. So Mike, holler at me, dog. I would love to do an interview with you. Now, the sad thing is that as dope as these guys were together, the chemistry was crazy. These guys could have been the gangstar of Miami. And before you flip your wig, all my New Yorkers out there, for me even saying that, I just want to remind you, Premier is from Houston, okay? Guru is from Boston. But yes, Gangstar's Brooklyn all day. But I say that to say this, that I think these brothers would have been the Gangstar of Miami. The only other duo that I could see as the Gangstar of Miami would have been DJ Slice and Society. But that's a whole other conversation. The reason I say that is because these brothers not only had bass tracks, but they actually had some real hip-hop joints, some boom bap tracks, if you will. Now, I said unfortunately earlier because they had a fallout. And they had a fallout around 1993, 94. There was an album that MC Madness ended up coming out with. It was a solo album. It was called Drop the Bass, Death of a Basshead. The artwork on the album has somebody who I would imagine the cartoon character is MC Madness, because it's got his name on the hat, and he's holding the head of somebody, and that's unfortunately supposed to be DJ Magic Mike. So the artwork is pretty telling of their fallout. The album material, I haven't heard it in its entirety because I can't find the album in its entirety online. And in fact, there's somebody selling the tape cassette for MC Madness Drop the Bass, Death of a Basshead on eBay for $65. and then there's somebody selling on Discogs the CD for $30, but the guy's in Japan, so after shipping and handling, you're paying $50 for the CD. So if any of my listeners out there got this, man, holler at me. I need to get a ripped version and hear this whole thing in its totality. There is somebody that commented on the Discogs about it, how it was an amazing album, but unfortunately it was towards the end of the bass era dominance in the rap music landscape. The diss did get answered by DJ Magic Mike, and DJ Magic Mike and his crew, the Royal Posse out of Orlando, dropped an album called Represent. This album has a much more boom bap hip hop feel, even kind of like a lot of West Coast influence of that time, especially that 93, 94 Death Row sound was somewhat in there as well. And in looking at the liner notes to the album, DJ Magic Mike and the Royal Posse Represent, DJ Scratch is actually accredited with laying some cuts in there. So there you go, man. It all came full circle when I saw that and read that in the liner notes. But on the album, the Royal Posse has a dude named Daddy Ray and another guy named Infinite J. And Magic Mike actually raps on this album, which he wasn't rapping on any albums prior to this, that at least that I remember or that I can recall. But he actually rapped on this one, and of course they released the song Dissing Madness, and it was called Okay Nigga Here We Go. It's dope. It's a diss record, so it is what it is. And it was interesting to hear a diss record of Orlando cats, calling out Miami. So I wonder what that era, in 94, cats that were really in the scene, if this gained any traction, if it gained any heat. And I could just imagine what their fallout may have been over. As always, the politics of this business can devastate friendships. It could eradicate families. Unfortunately, them brothers couldn't hold it together, to keep this amazing dynamic duo alive. Unfortunately, also, I want to mention, rest in peace to MC Madness, who passed away in a car accident back in 2009, I believe. Yeah, man, it's sad. We lost one. I wish he would have put out more music, especially after that solo release. And I wonder what happened with MC Madness and why did he not keep releasing music. I love the artwork on this. I even loved it as a jit. I used to draw the same artwork because this artwork was present on the Cheetah's Bassiest Hits, and I would definitely, when I would be tagging or whatnot, replicate some of this artwork. Now, the art design is accredited to somebody by the name Wayne Tillett, and the mastering on this song was done by Mike Fuller. And Mike Fuller is somebody that's been down in Miami for a minute. I actually had a project with Elastic Bond Excursions that was mastered by Mike Fuller at Fuller Sounds. That's one of the reasons why this shit really knocks the way it does. Aside from Magic Mike's Midas touch with the bass, got mastering by Mike Fuller over here. And shout out to Wayne Tillett, man. This artwork is still dope to me, man. I want to mention this, of course. I got my album that I just released, Free Bass, available on all streaming platforms. No, I don't do bass music. I did the bait and switch on most people because I don't do bass music. But I'm from Miami, and this is home of the bass. And all my tracks, although it may be boom bap, it may be traditional rap, they got the bass in there. The shit is going quad. It's going thump. I always make sure to do that. But when I release these albums, this bass trilogy stuff that I'm doing, I'm keeping in heart all the bass music I grew up on. And I really am glad that I copped this tape and I was able to talk about this one for y'all. Hope y'all dug this. Peace.